So thank you so much. Let's get started. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Building Doors LinkedIn Live today. My name is Saundi Harrison-Cooksey, and I'm a voice actor and creator of Fri-O'Clock. And I call myself a corporate creative. And what does that mean? That means I came from corporate America. So I worked a traditional job for decades, and I was a project manager, and I'm used to running meetings, systems, workflows, and processes. And I love that, but I also wanted to do my dream, which was doing voice acting since I was a child. So I started pursuing it while in corporate America. Um, but I never thought I would do it full time because I love the stability of a 2 week check all the time. Um, so when I started, I never had the desire to be a business owner or entrepreneur. Never. If you would have asked me 20, 30 years ago, I would be like, no, I want stability. But after getting into voice acting and booking jobs, I realized, oh my God, am I a business owner? And I'll tell you, I made a lot of mistakes in the beginning, and I am learning a lot, and the journey is continuous. And so I felt the desire to share it with other people because we don't go to school to learn how to be a business owner, right? So I wanted to share with you, and hence the creation of Business Flow LinkedIn Live. And today we are doing part one of the series, and I will be your host. And Christie Harsh, the creator of Building Doors and founder of Building Doors, will be the moderator in the chat throughout the event. And we are joined by two other ladies that were part of my panel when we did Business Flow Strategy, Success Strategy and Structure in September. And they are joining us. Thank you. Taheera Abd'Allah and Christie Guillaume, co-founders of T5 Transit, a firm that helps entrepreneurs to the road to profitability. And they will be educating us and presenting part one series today. So Taheera and AC, why don't you introduce yourselves?
All right. So hello, everyone. Again, my name is Taheera Abd'Allah, and I'm blessed to be here with my incredible business partner, Christie, or ACG, and then Saundi, and then Christie. So just to give you a little bit of background on how we started as simply friends, okay, neighbors and friends.
Neighbors.
Yeah. And then what happened, we started coming together, talking about business. And then we had a mutual friend, well, actually a little bit more than that, who owned a trucking company. And he needed some help. So with AC having a background in helping random trucker friends, her and I decided to get together and then help these particular men with their businesses. Wow. And so we decided that cash flow management was the one foundational area that anyone, no matter what your business or your industry, you need help and you need a foundation in. So to make sure if you're clear on that, then we have somewhere to go. We can go up as high as we want, right? But we definitely want a foundation there. So we started there. We got his business from completely in debt to then profitable. Okay. Well, we started making too much, right? We didn't take a whole bunch of pay. We started making too much for his liking, and he fired us, right? Even though we weren't even paying ourselves at the time. We were just kind of experimenting and doing some things like that. And then we got fired, but we recognized the strength in what we were doing together, and then how it impacted him. And so that's how T5 was born.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Wow. And AC?
I love that story.
Background about you.
Yes, I'm going to piggyback off of that. So my name is Christie Guillaume. All my life, I've been solving business problems for large multinational organizations. I'm a mathematician, a statistician, probabilities, econ, all the boring stuff. And I've done this for like 25 years. And imagine meeting now Taheera, business neighbor, friend, potential business partner, recognizing the impact that we can actually have around with the people around us. And Taheera is somebody that 99% of the time lives outside of the box. which allowed me to start thinking outside of the box as well and consider that, oh, maybe I can be different, right? And do something else. And I want all of us to hear this conversation because I think a lot of us have kind of that journey of going from even a full-time job to now being a voice actor, right? Taheera and I is becoming fractional CFO for businesses. And it's that same kind of transitioning into something that is more purposeful, that can have a larger impact on people. If you don't know anything about cash flow management, know this: 82% of small businesses will fail because of cash flow management. So when we started this business, we could have offered anything. I could have offered a bunch of fancy different things, which we did, by the way, but we stopped because we recognize we need someone in our lives good at the boring stuff. Thank you, Michelle. Michelle, okay, you see what you just said? That is exactly why I exist. I said, well, I know all the boring stuff. A lot of people around me don't know it. So why not Taheera and I now forming an organization, and we're actually serving people. So now you don't have to stress. You don't have to worry about the numbers. We got it, because that's what we live and breathe every day.
Wow.
Right?
Well, let me tell you, I was so happy to meet these ladies as well, because they have helped me with my business a lot. And again, my whole thing is about sharing and helping others, learning from my mistakes. And you know, again, this creative world is quite different when you're transitioning from either corporate or whatever you're doing and you don't know what you're doing. So thank you both for being here. And now let's get into it. And we're going to present, and AC and Taheera are going to present. So give us a thumbs up if you can see the presentation. It should say business flow, see it.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody.
And this is the first of a three-part series. I'm going to look, this whole thing is going to be a storytelling, and it's going to be a conversation. It's not going to be academic, blah, 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 right? So this is a conversation. So imagine that we're going to talk to you. We're going to present cash flow management, but we are going to present it in three different ways, in three different parts. The first is called See It. We'll jump more into it, but the name is Business Flow, See It. But the first thing I want to do before we do Business Flow, See It, what are we talking about? So let's set the stage. We're talking about cash flow management, and I just said 82% of businesses fail due to cash flow management. What does that really mean? What is cash flow management? What is it? I didn't even know what it was, and I was in a corporate world for all this time. Cash flow, I'm going to help you understand what cash flow management is not, so you can understand what cash flow management is. You know, when you think about your accountant, your bookkeeper, these are the people that help you tell a story or reconcile or summarize what happened last year, last month, last week in your business. Cash flow management informs what's going to happen when money comes in, when money first hits your account. Guess what? I bet none of you, because I've never heard this word and I was immersed in this world, this is not something that is taught to us. Money just comes in. Money just comes in. And then we don't really know what to do with it. Nobody tells us anything. Large organizations, they have their own CFO. They have a bunch of smart people working for them and doing that for them. But when you first start your business, you get that first check. Do you know what to do with it? Right. That's cash flow management. Cash flow management is what you do with your money when it comes in. That is it. It's not nothing more fancy than that. When money comes in, what do you do with it? Even if you decided to throw it away in the lake, it is a management. You decide to throw it away, but it's the intentionality behind it. And that's what we're going to talk about. Now, the way that we're going to talk about it is through the three-part series. And I want Saundi or Taheera to help you understand the framework of what we're going to talk about so that you're not lost within those 3 days, those 3 sessions.
So yes, we're having part 1. And as I've been posting on LinkedIn and IG, part 1, See It. And it's really the structure of it. So again, I've been posting structure, strategy, and success, but we wanted to simplify this method with a See It, Separate It, Send It. So again, this is the first part of the series, See It. And we are going to just help you make sure you have your structure and foundation or setup for it.
I want to add something. Cheryl says that, let's see, there should be an essential class before graduating high school. And I absolutely believe that. So I have 3 sons who already knows about cash flow management, 10, 15, and 17. And they already manage their cash flow. Okay. And so absolutely it needs to be talked about and taught.
Absolutely.
And Taheera, I thought that's what you were going to say. That is what Taheera and I want to do. Yes, we're going to get on and off clients, but we're actually, even next week, we're going to a school. We're going to teach this. We're going to talk about this so that even the kids, our kids, when they start their business, they're not starting the way we started, where we don't know what we're doing. And it is a very simple way. So now imagine I'm going to take a supposedly complex topic. I want every single one of my voice actors on this call to feel completely comfortable. If you feel uncomfortable or you don't understand something, give me a poop emoji, give me a thumbs down, because the whole point is for you to understand and feel comfortable. And the way that we're going to present it is really in a fun and cool and engaging way. We're going to present someone called Maya. Okay. Maya is going to be our avatar for the whole 3-part series. Maya is going to go through a few different things that all of us at some point we've gone through. We're going to solve Maya's problems, and through Maya's journey, we're going to learn. I'm also going to do another caveat just to set your mind right. We're only going to deal with 2 problems for Maya today. We're not going to try to solve 10 problems. You're going to walk out of this feeling overwhelmed and stressed out because, oh my God, they said too much. 2 problems we're going to fix. So as we're going through the story, identify those 2 things that we're going to talk about. Okay. So I feel like, now we should be good. Okay.
Let me throw something out there. So we like to consider ourselves teachers or educators. Okay. And so you might find that we might sound a little bit preachy or teachy, just trying to teach you the basics of cash flow management, because the whole idea behind being able to go to the ATM machine and pull out whatever amount of money you need for whatever you want to do, it's just that it's being able to understand, what do I have for my life? What do I have, right? When you have cash flow or liquidity, you can then buy assets, right? And so I'm not going to go super deep, but why do we need cash flow? Why do we need to know how to generate money to live? To be able to buy assets. To be able to buy assets actually buys you time and freedom. And that's what allows people to retire at different ages. But that is the whole idea behind managing your cash flow, building the architecture. And that is exactly where we sit, right there.
Taheera, thank you so much for painting the picture and for showing the vision. Because what Taheera did here is say, where are we going? Where are we even doing this? We're not doing cash flow management so you guys can pay your bills. We're not doing that. We're setting up a cash flow management system to give you freedom. Remember, y'all don't know. T5 Transit, our mission statement is to create entrepreneurial freedom. We want our entrepreneurs, people like you, to feel free. Okay, so now let's go. Maya. Okay, Maya is an aspiring voice actor and artist, but Maya also has a full-time job now. So she has a full-time job. She's a W-2. She's getting paid. But Maya is an artist, right? She's working at Home Depot doing HR. Maya is actually an aspiring voice actor. She's training. She's learning about it. She has friends in the industry. Her schedule is very demanding. She's like, where do I start, right? I want to do this thing. I have a full-time job. Where do I start? Maya decides to be so now Maya is a newbie. So we're going to put the first poll out because we want to understand Maya is a newbie, but y'all may not be newbies. Some of you may be new and just started. Others may be early, between 2 and 5 years of doing voice acting. Whether you're doing it full-time or part-time, I just want to know, how long have you been doing this? How long have you been immersed in this world? Or are you 5 years or a season? So let's let the poll come in to see what people are saying. So N for new, E for early, A for average, 5 to 10 years, and S for seasoned. I want to see them come into the chat so we can understand a little bit about the people that we're talking to. We're talking to you guys. We understand that Maya is a newbie, but not all of you guys are newbies. All right. So we want to understand where you guys fall.
So yeah, put in the chat whether you just started with an N, an E if you're still in the early stages, A for average between 5 and 10 years, or S if you're over 10 plus years. Okay, I see some S's, I see some E's, newbies. Looks like we have a mix of folks coming in, A's and S's. Okay, we got a pretty big mix, but I'm seeing a lot of A and S's, which I think wherever you are in your stage, this will be beneficial, especially the earlier, the better, obviously, but this will be beneficial because you have an opportunity to change. And that's what Maya sounds very familiar, by the way. So again, as I said, you learn some things, you make mistakes, but that's how you learn. And you go from there.
And I was just going to add on to that. So just keep in mind, you guys have been, or you ladies or guys have been immersed in whether it's voice acting or whatever it is you do, right? Whatever you pay attention to, whatever you put your time into and your energy into, that's what you know, right? So AC and I, we know cash flow management, right? Now, I don't necessarily know social media because I've been being asked to post and I have not been posting. So, right, I get a slap on the wrist for that. But I do know what I know. So that's why when you come into our space here, into our world, I mean, we are going to pull you in. We are going to pour into you. Very slowly, though. I know that's the cadence that we wanted to take so that we don't leave anyone behind. Okay. But just understand you're coming into a world. There's no judgments here. You want to learn something and we can teach you it.
Okay.
Great.
So now, so the polls are in. I believe that we have about 20 people on the call. I feel like we've got a lot of them. So they stopped. So we have a good mix of people. We have N, E, A, and S. So everybody's in all the different stages. But now let's jump back into Maya, right? So we're learning with Maya. Maya is an N. Maya just started. And Maya is like, man, this is awesome. Maya's just went for an audition and she's getting business. So she's starting to earn money. Maya's booking jobs. She's celebrating. She's happy. Every time she's getting her money, she just stuffs it in her personal account. She's like, woohoo, things are flowing. Life is good. Maya's like making it. Maya's like, what can go wrong? Can anything go wrong at this point? I'm making money and everything. But Maya's starting to feel a little bit of something. She says, the money's coming in, it's in my personal account, but then when I go to the grocery store, my checking account has more money than I'm used to, right? Am I taking from my voiceover money to do my groceries? How do I separate the grocery money from the personal money, from the business money? Because, hey, I'm making it, but every time I get a little check, and remember, I know you all know this, it doesn't come, the voiceover checks don't come every day. They come from time to time, from time to time, from time to time. So she has a recurring income coming into her personal account, which is a W-2 pay. And then she has this erratic money coming from her voiceover also coming into her personal account. So now my question to you, so this is where Maya is. Maya is in a place where she's making money, but the money is all sitting in her personal account. So the first question, the second poll that we have, are you like Maya? Do you use your personal bank account to receive income from your creative activities? I want you to put a P if you're using your personal bank account. I want you to put a B if you have a business bank account. And I want you to put a T if it's both types of accounts. Now, if you don't know what the difference is, some people don't know that there's a difference between a personal or business account, no judgment at all. Put that in the chat as well. We didn't put this as a option, but certainly if you don't know that there's a difference for you, you think it's the same, please put that in the chat. But for all the others, share with us. Do you use your personal? Do you use your business as a B? Or do you just put money maybe under some people put money under their bed, okay? So I don't know. Okay. See, a lot of people are saying P's. P's, I see them coming in. P, B's, B's. Oh, I see some both. I like it, Susan Cheryl. Okay. So It is so much more common than you know. You see the mix that you have here? First of all, we are here to tell you nothing is wrong with you. There's no wrong answers, because change comes from meeting people where they are. I can look at you right now and I'm looking at all the things you're doing. Just to Taheera's point, Taheera doesn't know nothing about social media, and I always tease her about it. But nobody can beat Taheera when it comes to research and knowledge. No one can. So we all are at different places in our lives, and it's okay. So we're not here to judge. We're here to meet everybody where they are. And now we're going to bring you guys to clarity, right? That's what it is. That's what transformation is. Okay.
Let me add something to that, AC. So also the system was not set up, right, for us to be clear on where to put things. Okay. Mm-hmm. So remember, you go to a bank, a traditional bank, and what do? They give you 2 accounts, right? No one really talks to you about business bank accounts or anything like that, or what do you have going on? You say, look, I want to open an account. So they give you the account. And so there's not a lot of teaching going on. And this is where now our services are coming in, right? What we do in the world of finance is coming in.
Mm-hmm. So I love those answers, and I'm so happy to see so many P's and T's. And I do see a few B's, but not as many as I see the other ones. So I think all of us can start understanding what's going on. The people who put P's and T's, I think everyone, even the people with a B, can see where I'm going with this story. Because what's happening with Maya now? Maya went from being, that's the first problem, by the way, y'all. Maya went from being stressed, from being happy, from making all this money from voiceover, woohoo, to now, oh my gosh, I'm making money, but I don't even know. I don't know how much when people ask Maya, how much did you make for on VO last month? She cannot tell you, because all her account, all the monies are in the same pot. And if anyone is resonating with this pain point, I want you to put I don't know if you have access to a poopy emoji, just put a thumbs down, a thumbs up emoji, Although I would like the poopy one, but a thumbs up emoji, just to show that, hey, I've felt this before, where the money is in there, just like Maya, confusion. I don't know how much I earn for VO. I know what my W-2 paycheck is, but I cannot keep doing like a subtraction or calculating every single time. So Maya is a little bit lost because she cannot see. That's why we call this session See It. She cannot see her business money. She doesn't even really know how much. She cannot tell people just like that how much money she made, because the money is all mixed together. She doesn't know what her expenses are for her business. When I pay the subscription, is it a personal expense or is it a business expense? Right? What is it? Is it is it something that maybe is a both, where if you're a voice actor, I'm just going to give you a little cash flow pointer. If you're a voice actor, you're at home, your internet is a business expense. It is not a personal expense. Part of your mortgage or your rent is not a personal expense. It is a business expense. So we're going even further, right? So imagine now Maya, poor thing, she has all her money come on together. And she said, well, she tried to live her life but what happened when she tried to live like this? And Taheera will give you a sense of what happens when she tried to operate in that way, where she's looking to manage herself, Taheera, and then she's also managing her business, all of it in one personal account, and money's coming in. Maya's making it. People starting to know her. She's getting more and more contracts, but she's feeling more and more, should I even want more? Because I feel like I'm really overwhelmed.
Right. And so keep in mind that you gave a percentage earlier, AC, where you said 82% of businesses fail. And it's not because they're bad at what they do, right? Very talented people, very, very brilliant, but it's because of cash flow disorganization. That is the number one reason why businesses fail, or 82% of them fail. Okay. And so when we start thinking about business and personal, the best way the best analogy I like to give, because I always think that I'm talking to my kids, right? Because I'm teaching them all the time. So what I like to I like to give easy analogies. Now, let me know in the chat if this is an easy analogy for you, right? Think of, we are human beings, okay? This is us, right? This is us. Your life, your rent, your bills, your W-2 paycheck, your personal expenses, that is what the human being has to be responsible for. Now, there's something called a business being. Sometimes they call it an entity, but this is what we actually create. We create this out of thin air. That is entrepreneurship. When we start going super deep, that's really entrepreneurship. You're creating something out of nothing. So now we've created a business being, okay? Your business, your clients, projects, business income, expenses, all these things that can be attached just to that entity or that thing, okay? And so when it comes to your account, you want to keep these beings completely separate. If you don't, okay, in the eyes of the government or the people who care, the IRS, you're actually, the moment that you commingle money. So I go out here, I cut someone's grass, I put that money into my personal account. That's actually commingling, right? They call it piercing the corporate veil. And so you can be held, if anyone were to look to sue you and you showed them your personal account where you were putting those funds in there from your business, that's a huge no and red flag, okay? And then people are penalized, but I don't want to go super deep. So, reel me back in. I said, if you need to. So
and don't scare us, but you're right. Like when you make extra money, and that reminds me of a story that I want to share. Like I said earlier, when I was just introducing myself and the background, I was in corporate America and I did voice acting. Well, I started, again, Maya sounds very familiar. I started making money. And the thing is, I booked a job that was 5 figures. Okay. And I was just elated. I was like, oh my God. It was kind of good and bad. Good that I'm like, oh my God, I booked a 5-figure job early on. I think it was in my maybe second year. But bad because when I got the check, it was like a low 4-figure. Okay. And I'm like, where did all the money go? So I called my accountant. I'm like, I have a business, I thought, and I got this check, but I didn't get any money from it. And he asked me how I was set up. And I said, I don't know. I just went on the business registration and set up a LLC partnership. I remember it being very difficult on the Secretary of State. And so he said, well, you're not even structured properly. And that's when I said, okay, I got to get my business together because I can't just be making money and Uncle Sam take it. I don't want this commingling to go on. So to your point, Taheera, it has to be separate. To the point that AC was making earlier with the poll, you need a personal and a business. So I can totally relate to that. And you don't want to be in that situation, believe me. So it's good to separate.
So guess what Maya was doing as Taheera and Saundi were talking? She was listening, right? No, that's what she was doing. She said, what am I? Maya still has the problem. Taheera spoke, Maya still has the problem. What did Maya decide to do? Maya said, you know what? After I heard Taheera and Saundi speak, I'm going to open a business account. And I'm going to open a business account with a bank called Relay. But we'll talk about it a little bit further down, why she picked Relay, right? So now she can see where her money is going when it comes to her VO compared to her personal. She feels relieved. She's like, oh. So now she can start looking at her business account, money coming in, the income related to her business, and also the expenses related to her business. Now she can start to see, oh, the business is making, let's take Saundi's example, like a 5-figure job. Let's say it was a $10,000. $10,000 is a 5-figure job, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So $10,000, right? And she says, oh, $10,000, my expenses for my business, which I've identified a little bit, is about $2,000. I'm starting to feel good about my business now because I understand that I'm making more than I'm spending. What's happening in her personal has nothing to do with that anymore. She could be overspending in her personal. That's her business there. But she created a separate being. She's starting to separate the being, which is herself, personal, and her business. If everybody understands, especially everybody that had the P and the T, drop me a heart emoji. If you drop me a red heart emoji, if you understand and agree that Maya's paying and Maya had to decide, hey, let's just do a business account, because it seems like after I heard all these ladies speak, it seems like that's my next step. Give me a black heart emoji if you're not really convinced, that you still think, a P is, working on your personal account, you've been able to manage it well and you're happy with yourself. But I want to see the two hearts, the red heart showing me, hey, yes, I agree. That's the right move for Maya. Or would you have advised Maya to do something else? I don't know, go pray and hope that she has clarity the next day, although all the money's right. Because we do that, right? We have pain. I'm not to say not to pray. I pray every day. We even prayed before this call. So we do pray for the people who believe. But what I'm saying is praying is not a strategy, right? It's something that you use. But what is the strategy that you want to use? So I'm seeing red hearts. I'm seeing people agreeing, people liking it. This is what Maya had to do. Maya said, you know what? That's what I need to do. I need to open a business account. Now, where do I get a business account? Like, where do I get a business account? Like, how do I? Okay, I got a black heart. Carolyn, I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you to help me understand. Please put a comment and we'll get back to it, Carolyn. I want to hear why you feel like, no, I think it's still fine just to keep it personal, right? Because I want to say something. Even if you make $5, Sandy was talking about a 5-figure job. Even if you make $10 for like a ooh-ha that you put in a song or whatever you use your voice for, $10 needs to be in a business account. Even if it's $1, it needs to be in a business account, because that's going to be the starting point of building that business. So I want to hear from Carolyn to understand a little bit better what the black heart is, but we're going to continue. So now I say, yeah, open a business account. What does that mean? Where is she going to go in reality? Because one thing we're not going to do in this call is leave you inspired, but with no clear call to action. We're not doing that, right? Because business banking, they're not all made the same. They're not all made the same. You can run after this call. You're like, yes, T5 Transit and Christie and Taheera told me to go get a business account, and you walk down the street, you get a business account, and you regret it. Taheera is going to explain to you what are some of the things you need to look at when you're considering a business bank account, right? So now Maya's lady went to Taheera. Okay, Taheera, I'm ready to open a business account. What do I do? Where do I go?
Okay, that's awesome. So let's see. Let me see. Carolyn, I just don't make enough, and I can easily see where it's coming from.
Well, okay, but
independent contractors, not an incorporated LLC. Do we still need a separate account? Okay, those are good. Those are good points. Thank you for sharing. And so here's the deal. What I want you to think about when you think about banking, I want you to think about a partnership. Okay, and the bank needs to ultimately be your partner. Now, a lot of times they're in it for their own needs. Okay, we are not necessarily their partners. A lot of the traditional banks who charge us the monthly minimums, balance, you got to have a certain balance, a transaction fee to be able to send your money. Just a transfer will cost you. So there's all these other fees baked in. To me, that is not an ideal partner. Okay, so we actually want to look at why do we want to even go with this bank? Why should we keep our hard-earned money in this institution? What are they doing for me? I always want you to ask yourself that. What is it? What's in it for me? Right? So our company, T5, okay, we do look to partner with banks. We're partnered with one bank, Relay Financial, okay? Can you create and manage a cash flow system at another bank? Absolutely. However, Relay makes it so easy, right? It's a modern financial technology company that's partnered with banks. And if you start reading the fine print on a lot of these other banking systems, a lot of them are actually financial tech companies. They're called fintechs. Okay. And so what happens is they actually give you back interest. So I want you to think about that, right? Why would I want to partner with the bank? Well, they're giving me something. Okay. So I want you to always look to see what you can get. Okay. Outside of bonuses, what are they doing for your money? We believe in compounding, right? When you compound your money, right? You're compounding your discipline, your options, your habits, all of that. We want everything in your life to compound. Okay.
So there are some really great comments in the chat right now.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing I want to mention is Ellie. That comment that you made, we're going to address it in the next couple of slides. So if we did not answer that question, please raise your hand again. Okay, that's for Ellie Katz. Now, Carolyn, you said that you don't make enough money and you can see where it's coming from. I'm not a tax strategist, but I'm going to say this: if you make $100 from voice acting, it goes into your personal account. The IRS taxes you on $100. If you make $100 and you sift and you run it through your business, only the amount of money that you pay yourself will likely be taxed, because most of your expenses are going to be tax deductible. So instead of taxing you on $100, Carolyn, now they might only tax you on $20, because $80 were tax deductible expenses. So that's, even for any other reason, that is a good reason to have a business account and start separating, because you pay less taxes. Now, I want to move on to Susan. Susan has a great question, has a great thing. My bank requires $2,000 minimum balance in my business account. Exactly. When we're looking at a bank, and that's what Taheera is alluding to. You have to look for a bank, a business bank that is meant for entrepreneurs like you, not a large organization that I used to work for the past 25 years of my life. They always have $2 million in their account anyway. They don't care about those minimums, but we do. You have to look for a bank that is a no monthly fee, no minimum balance requirements, no transaction fees, no limits. That's why we are saying we're not selling Relay. But first of all, Relay Financial is free, so we cannot really sell it because it's a free platform. But we're not selling Relay Financial. When we look at those criteria, no monthly fees, no minimum balance, because again, someone like Carolyn says, hey, I'm not making that much money, so I'm not going to go ahead and start spending on a business account. You don't have to, because there are business accounts out there. Oh, Carolyn, that's fine. Actually, Relay Financial, their headquarters is in Toronto. And I used to live in Canada too, by the way. I'm a Montreal girl. So so we understand each other. Relay Financial is a bank. Their headquarters is in Toronto and in New York, right? So let's look at some of the other questions. So I think I answered the $2,000 minimum. Susan, wherever you are, this is not for you. You need to look at those criteria that are on the screen: no monthly fees, no minimum balance, no transaction fees. These are criteria that you need to be looking for. Alicia said, my original bank just got bought out, but the new bank acquiring my account is required. Exactly, $3,000 minimum. Please, Alicia, jump ship. I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm telling you what to do. No, right? Like, come on. You don't have to, is what I'm trying to say. You don't have to, because there are other options out there. Relay is just one of them. Continue looking, but these are the criteria that I want you to look for. There are banks out there: no monthly fees, no minimum, no transaction fees. Okay. Mine just changed to a large minimum. Exactly. So a lot of them. What about using a business credit card with benefits such as Sky Points? That's a very good point. So this is what we do in the cash flow management, Terry. Here's if you were working with me, here's how I would do it. All your bills need to be paid based on from a credit card. It does offer some high yield savings, but we don't really use and that's Terry, right? We don't really use Relay for their high yield savings. If you want high yield savings, find a high yield savings account. We use Relay to manage the business. We'll talk more about Relay and its features at session 2. Okay, that's part of the cash flow management system. Right now, we're only saying, hey, identify a business bank so we can start separating it. And that goes for Carolyn as well. Please, even if it's $5, we don't want to be taxed for no reason. Okay.
Absolutely.
So
somebody had a question about the LLC and the structure and all that.
So we're going to talk about that in the next few slides. That's Ellie. So Ellie, sit on it, and then we'll talk about it on the next slide. Do we still separate? If we are still independent contractors,
Yeah, that's Ellie's question.
oh yes, absolutely. Absolutely everything needs to be separated. Whether you're a contract, look, if I'm sitting here, somebody says, "Hey, Aunt Christie, can you go rake the leaves outside?" That's a business. It should not go on my personal account. I should automatically go and open a personal account. Yes, Relay offers checking, savings, not Zelle yet, but it should be coming soon. But Zelle is not something that should stop you, because for other reasons that we'll talk about in session 2. Okay. But yes, Relay is a full-fledged, as a matter of fact, at the end of this call, you will all receive a link that you're going to click on, put your email, you're going to get all the information for Relay there. And also a link to open a Relay account if you want to, and it's free. Okay. You can start playing around with it because you don't have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
We're continuing.
Okay.
So now Maya is, so now Maya opened the business account. Maya is happy, right? But now Maya has the second. So we fixed Maya's first problem, y'all. Maya's first problem is solved. Maya has a business account, Relay, boom. Second problem Maya starts to stumble. Maya feels she's making progress. She has a business account. She's moving. But then she went on a voiceover actor community. And then she saw in the business flow, right? And then she saw somebody talking about LLCs. She saw Ellie mention LLC. She said, ooh, do you have an LLC? Oh my God. Now she's starting to feel uncomfortable again, right? Maya starts to panic. She goes on YouTube. People are like, yes, you need an LLC. No, you don't need an LLC. Yes, you need a corporation. No, Maya is completely confused again. Maya's like, what should I do? Because right now I go and I sign up as Maya Doe, right? As somebody to do voiceover. But now all of a sudden you're telling me, should I have one? Should I not have one? I'm not sure what to do. Well, that's the question that we have for you guys right now. How many of you have an LLC or corporation? So that's the last poll of this call. How many of you have an LLC or corporation or partnership? How many of you are sole proprietorship? And how many you don't even know what I'm talking about? And that's okay too, right? So it's L for LLC or partnership, if you have one. C for a corporation or S corporation. S for a sole proprietorship. And question mark because you don't know what the heck I'm talking about. And that's okay too, right? That's why we're here, is to have this conversation, okay? So I'm hoping to see that in the chat. The poll is out.
So
put your comments in.
Yeah, while you guys are putting your comments in for the poll, just remember that the separation, right? You are the human being, and then we've created a business being. So just if you want to just stop right there and just consider that, stay there with it. That is why you need a separate account, because you are two separate entities or beings. Okay.
And so imagine Maya sitting here. Maya doesn't know. Maya has a question mark. Some people have the question mark. Maya has a question mark too. Maya's like, I don't know what the heck y'all are talking about. What is the right? So Maya is confused. See, people are like, I don't even know what that is. That's perfectly fine. And again, remember, that's what we're talking about in the beginning. Nobody sat down and had this conversation with us prior. That's why we're having this conversation today, so you guys can understand and you guys can know.
So
now
let's move on. Terry, we see your question and we'll get back to it, but let's move on to just explaining the structures, the difference, because I think people are asking about what's the difference between LLC and.
So Taheera is going to do very concisely. She's going to explain what the difference is between an LLC, a corporation, a sole proprietorship, and then we're going to see what Maya decides after Taheera explains those three things.
Okay, so I want to keep it super elementary. All right, so if you think of a sole proprietor, just think of yourself, right? The human being. By default, the moment we go and sell something or do something for someone in exchange for some money with the intent on receiving money, that is considered a sole proprietor, right? You don't have to register a business. You don't have to do anything special, right? But you are considered a sole proprietor, okay? Now, when we introduce an LLC, that is a form of registration, right? through the state, and so forth. And so you do have to pay for that. It's compliance. You have to keep it up. And really think about an LLC this way, right? It's considered a limited liability company, meaning that it provides security. But where, right? How does it provide security to you? If someone were to sue you for whatever reason, we live in America, right? A lot of people like to sue. So if you were to go and mess up someone's lawn, right? Say you're mowing the lawn, whatever it is, and they were say, you know what, I'm going to sue this person. Well, if you have an LLC and you're keeping your banking, your personal banking and your business banking separate, they would not be able to attach themselves or sue you and affect you personally. Because remember, you're separate. That's how you separate yourself from your business entity. Okay. And so that is what an LLC provides, is that legal barrier, or what I like to call a force field, right? It's like a shield for you personally. All right. Is everyone with me? Does that make sense?
Yep. It does.
And so that is that is what an LLC provides. Nothing more than that. Okay. Now, when you start talking about a corporation, an S corp, then we start talking tax strategy. That is where you start saving on taxes. Okay. But you don't necessarily need to start there. That is not an ideal starting point. It's more compliance. It's a more complexity. And so when you're actually ready for that conversation, we're ready to have it with you, or a CPA or tax strategist and so forth. Okay. But just know that by default, every single human being is considered a sole proprietor. And then to upgrade, you can upgrade to an LLC, which only protects you if someone were to sue you. It protects your personal.
So Maya's listening. Maya's like, okay, all right. Well, what I'm hearing is an LLC is when you have liabilities, meaning somebody sues you, blah, blah, blah. I don't think nobody's going to sue me because I made $1,000 in a year or $5,000 in a year doing voiceover. So I don't care about an LLC. And Maya also heard Taheera say corporation tax strategy when you start making money. I'm not making that much money yet. So I'm not going to go and create a whole corporation and keep it up, compliance, pay every year. That doesn't sound like me, Maya. Maya says, well, I'm going to choose to be a sole proprietor. But it's really a self-identification. Maya is identifying herself. She says, based off of what Taheera says, my business structure is sole proprietorship, meaning I am the business. The business is under my name, Maya. But the difference is when I identify myself as a sole proprietorship, I create the separation between myself, Maya, the individual, and Maya, the business owner. It's not because I don't have a name called, Maya voiceover, blah, 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 that it means that I don't have a business. Maya's like, okay, now I feel confident. I'm a sole proprietorship. Once I start making money and I feel like, I might get sued, I get into like different tougher projects, more complex projects, I'm starting to grow, I'll upgrade to an LLC. And when I start making a ton more money and I'm looking to save even more on taxes, I'm going to transform myself into a corporation. So you see how you're not stuck on any of those entities. Maya decided, hey, I'm going to start as a sole proprietorship. There's nothing wrong with that. Is legitimate in front of the law. Then I'm going to move on to an LLC. Then I'm going to move on to a corporation. So we met Maya where she is. So Maya is now like, whew, that struggle that I had, people telling me to do this, people telling me to do that. I made my choice. I'm a sole proprietorship. This is what we've done here today. We've solved two issues that Maya had. Maya was not able to see herself separate from her business. So that's why we call this session See It. Before we do the separate it and send it, the last two sessions, See It. We were able to help Maya see herself separate from her business by doing two things. Maya separated her money from personal to business. And yes, Carolyn, you as well. If you're making $5, you have to separate those. I would rather somebody take their business income and put it under their mattress than put it into their personal bank account. We have to separate it. We have to be able to see it separately is what I mean. The second thing Maya was able to do is Maya was able to see herself separate from a business. So there's Maya the person and there's Maya the business owner. And if somebody says, hey, Maya, do you have a business? Yes, I do. What's your business called? Maya. Oh, really? Where are you registered? I'm a sole proprietorship. So Maya now feels confident that she was able to separate herself from the business.
And what we have, and this is really good, and the time is ticking, but to ask yourself more questions. Christie just put in the chat a checklist that Taheera and AC created to kind of ask you some questions on where you are. And also, please keep in mind that every state may have different laws. Every country, Japan, Chica, we do not know about Japan. I don't, at least. Now, maybe the ladies do, but I don't. So I say that we do the checklist. And then, AC, you were going to talk about some other options for people who have more questions.
Absolutely. So here's what we're going to do. So now, Maya, we solved Maya's problems, right? So to Saundi's point, there are three things happening. First thing is, you're going to see the checklist. Please download it. It's free. Put your email in, download it. You will receive, it's sort of like it's not a summary, but it's in a form of a checklist to kind of walk you through what we've done so you can identify and understand what your next step should be. Okay. Number two, we want you to attend session 2. So please sign up for session 2 on February 13th so we can continue Maya's journey, because Maya's problems just started, y'all. So we need to continue fixing Maya, but for now we're stopping here. And then the third thing, if you want to talk to us, if you have any other questions or we do offer free consultations, and you will find that here. As a matter of fact, when I say here, I mean there. You can scan this code. It's also in the checklist as well, by the way. You can also, if you download the checklist, you will find a link to book a quick call with us. It's free, so we can just continue the conversation, because, we cannot go deep into every single thing during that lunch break session. So we want to make sure that we address everyone. So please sign up with us. We are on LinkedIn. Find us on LinkedIn today. Please go on your LinkedIn, find us and follow us so we can stay connected. Somebody said in the beginning of the call, I'm glad that we have somebody who loves numbers, because we're not those people, right? Taheera and I's mission is to be those people for the creatives. Specifically, like we say we want this group, because we understand that when you are creative, you use a lot of your right brain, and that's just where you are. Well, yeah, right brain for a creative. Well, let us be the left brain for you, because we want to learn your language. Were you speaking your language? Oh, yes, Jennifer got the checklist. She loves the checklist. Jennifer, I was a little bit worried that the format wasn't nice. I have a nicer format, but I'm glad that you like it. Okay, Chica, I like that. But Chica, I would love to hear from you. I would love if you schedule a call, because just for us to learn, I want to understand why you feel like the structure is a little bit different. I guess maybe the business entities are different is what you're saying, but definitely would love to hear from you. Please schedule a 15-minute call with us so we can get to learn a little bit more. But yeah, so this is it. So this is Maya's story. This is where she is, and this is where y'all are. We solved 2 problems for Maya. I want y'all to solve those 2 problems for yourself. And you realize how Maya went through it. She listened to Taheera and Saundi and myself. Just, I know what to do. If you cannot do this exercise on your own, please schedule a call with us, and we'll help you through it. I want to see people schedule the 15-minute free calls with us. The people who are already sold, oh my God, I want to explore Relay. Please, the link is on there as well. Start exploring Relay on your own. If you say, I'm a bit skeptical, I don't know what Relay is, I want to do my credit union, please make an appointment with your credit union today, and go and say, okay, how can I open a business account? But you have your list, no minimum balance. If people tell you anything about minimum balance, transaction fees, anything like that, you need to bounce, because right now you have a criteria to determine what's the best business account for you, right? So we're equipping you with what you need to make the right decisions. But we've made up our minds already. Relay is our choice, right?
It's really what a good partner looks like.
Right.
Know what a good partner looks like. Mm-hmm.
And I personally use Relay, again, not a plug or anything, but and I came from a traditional brick and mortar bank here in Atlanta. So it's quite a difference in how I manage my business now. But I think we have answered the main questions around structure, or see it, which is to separate things, to have a personal and business. and also to make sure you're either a sole prop or LLC. And I really welcome everybody, encourage them to schedule a free call. What can it hurt? And you can ask questions on your own. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you join next session, separated, right here at 12 p.m. on a Friday on February 13th. Thank you, everyone. Take care.